we just had a friend of ours ask us about our move and said, how in the world can you afford to do such a thing?
Yeah.
I am Corie.
And I'm Mike.
And we are of Corie and Mike. Moving from South Texas to Orlando, Florida very soon, in less than 6 months. And so, yes, we did have someone just ask us, how can you afford to even do something like this? How are you managing that part of it, the move, the retirement,
Cost of living.
the cost of it, and all of that? And so we are going to talk a little bit about the selling of our house.
Yes.
Or at least the part of it, and you can tell.
So the plan was to have an estate sale, and we decided to have it. We already talked about that, where we decided to save 40% and do it ourselves.
So what Michael means by save 40% means that usually when you hire a business or a company to come in and do the estate sale for you, that is their portion that they keep. Now, let me tell you, if you don't have a lot of extra time and a lot of extra energy, that might be the way you want to go. Because having an estate sale takes a lot of time, a lot of planning, and a lot of energy.
Right, and especially the way we kind of rolled it out, because normally estate sales that we've been to, you kind of free range, go to any room basically, usually, maybe a few rooms that are off limits, but we decided to have everybody flow in through the living room, kitchen area, our bakery area in the back, which is a former garage, but not the bedrooms. And so we rolled things out slowly as we were ready. And so that was part of it. And so bringing things out from bedrooms.
Yeah. So we're really lucky in that one of my best friends does estate sales as her side hustle, and she's really incredible at this. But and she was going to help us, and she was actually going to host it for us. But then she said, you know what, you actually already have quite a following, because that helps. You being able to connect with people to invite to the estate sale is really key, because you can slap prices on stuff and get ready, and if nobody shows up, well, nobody shows up, and then you're not making money, you're not getting rid of your things. And our goal was to empty our house so that we can fix it up and sell it, and obviously we're in the process of that.
And we weren't very shy at all on the marketing part of it.
Right.
Yeah, so we did market. We can talk about that in a little bit.
Luckily, because we formerly owned a commercial bakery, then we have a big following of local people who kind of know what's going on and been following us, and then they were able to share. So we were able to market our estate sale there to those few thousand people that follow us, and we asked them, and also we did it through Facebook and social media, Instagram and things like that, and we made posters and let people know ahead of time that this was going to be happening. We did schedule the estate sale for 2 weekends, because we just did have a lot of stuff, and that's what our friend also recommended, that she said, you can't do this all in one weekend.
We also weren't shy. I mean, we did do social media quite a lot, and we weren't shy with videos, especially on the day of, and you know, that kind of thing. Whether they were me drawing it out, writing it out, things like that, or just, us talking about it. So,
but I do know that because my friend does estate sales quite often, that I'm really interested, and people are more drawn when you post not just, hey, we're having an estate sale, but pictures of items.
Right, right.
And so it's like, here's these furniture pieces that are up for sale. Here's some collectible things that are up for sale, artwork, things like that. And actually, when I started to do that, people were messaging me pretty quickly and saying, hey, how much do you want for this? What's going, you know, I'm interested in these pieces.
But you do need to work it in tandem, because the more stuff that's in there, like when we had the bakery, the more often we were on the people's feeds, the more we got questions about things like that. That really helped a lot. And that really helped us learn that part, with the bakery part of it.
Right, so both like posts and stories on our personal pages, our business pages, and things like that. So if you don't have a really big following, then of people, or people that can share that, then that might be a little bit of a challenge, and that might be a reason why you could go with an actual person who does estate sales, because they might already have a large following of people that would come and do that. Plus, they have their team that's going to come, because you have to tag every single item. You have to give it. You have to price it at a very reasonable price. That because I mean, if your goal is to get rid of everything, then you got to sell it for a price that you are willing to get rid of everything. And have
How
it
did we
move.
come up with the prices on things?
I don't know.
So basically, we'd ask each other, it's like, what do you think about a price for this? And I'd say, $50. And I said, oh, cool. I was thinking the same thing. Essentially, it wasn't like, oh, I paid this much. We didn't think in that aspect because we paid
No,
for it brand
no.
new. You got our use out of it. The idea was to get it, sold to somebody else to get some more use out of
A
it.
question I would ask myself is like, what would I pay for it if I went to an estate sale, and if I went and what if I picked it up and said, oh, I think this is a really good bargain. But then remember, because it's an estate sale, people will negotiate the price and they'll ask you, hey, will you come down a little bit on this? And you might say yes, and it's fair to say no about some things as well. So you work that out, and then what we did was. Our second weekend, we brought prices down, and so we were able to
And brought more things out.
to discount things. And then the last day, also, we were just pretty much like 50% because we had already made a good chunk of money, which was nice. And then we were able to really at that point just mark things down so that we could get them out. And then after that, when we had things left over, we were able to donate as well, some things.
It was cool because we had a lot of help in the first weekend.
Yes.
It was great. It was
Thank
very-
God. Yeah.
The only thing was is that unless it was marked sold, there were a few things that were like, oh, we're selling that. Okay, bye.
There
were a few
extra
things that go-
helpers that, yeah, my mom.
It's okay.
We sold something. And what we did to mark things was we just got some painter's tape because it's really easy. I do not like when you buy something that's used, like say at an estate sale or a thrift store or something like that, and they have a sticker on it, and then you're like at home trying to peel that sticker off, and then and then it damages the item or it leaves that sticky stuff on it, residue. So it was really easy with painter's tape to just go around and write prices on things and put them on there. Now, some of the items that were like specific or more expensive, I would write the description of the item on that painter's tape so that people wouldn't be able to switch it on to other things. But it is important also when you have a lot of people kind of walking through the house, that you might have a couple of friends that help you out just by kind of keeping an eye on in the room and things like that, just so that if people have questions or stuff like that. That being said, it was really helpful that we had one door where people could come in and one going out. Even though there are multiple doors to enter and exit our home, we only had that one door where people and that could come in and out.
Right.
And we were really and you were set up
And I
there.
was there.
You were set up there where you could charge people. A lot of people do like to pay through Cash App.
Yes.
Some people do pay cash. They want to use credit cards and things like that. But Cash App was really, are those kind of Zelle and
Between Cash and Cash App, those were the biggest sales.
yeah, and those kinds of things that we're going through there. But so that being said, the bulk of money that we made on the estate sale helps us to do what's going on behind us right now, which is we're freshening up the house. We're giving it a fresh coat of paint,
Right.
so that when we go to sell the house, that it looks a little shinier
Right.
and nicer. And we're using things just to spruce up. Thank God the house is in
So-
really good shape. We didn't
Right.
have to redo anything major.
Right.
But
so
we just wanted to be-
essentially, we took the money from the estate sale,
Mm-hmm.
right, to pay for the renovation or the sprucing up of the house. It's not really renovated, but it's paint and putting the lipstick on it and makeup right on it. Okay. It also paid off because we only have one credit
yeah.
card. It paid off a credit card.
That was nice.
So it's down to zero. That's really nice. And then we was also paying for our trip to Disney
Yes.
in Orlando
We're going to take a quick trip with the kiddos in January.
And so that's, it's taking, and still have money left over in case there's other things that we need, that we weren't aware of that we needed to fix or anything like that. So, or if we need to hire somebody to come in and take some stuff, more
Exactly
stuff
what I was
out.
going to say.
As you can see behind us, we still have more stuff. So we haven't gotten rid of every single thing. But that just kind of shows you, I mean, we got rid of a lot of stuff, a lot. and there's still stuff left over.
Yeah.
And so literally thousands of things that we've gotten rid of, and we still have, it feels like thousands of things, but it's cool. So with the painting and everything, having to pull things out of bedrooms and whatnot to make sure that everything gets painted correctly and all that. So the one thing helps with the other, and so we'll put the house on the market, and that money will help us have our, just in case money.
Seed.
Yeah, just in case money. Plus, I'll be retiring, and in Texas, there's TRS, the Texas Retirement Teachers Retirement System,
Right.
and I'll be drawing, for the rest of my life.
Right,
On that.
because as we started this off, somebody did ask me, like, how are you able to do this if you're not 65 yet, or 60? I mean, or she said, I guess 65 is what she was questioning, because she said she really wants to retire and she's 60, but she was saying, how are you doing it with insurance? How are you doing this with, because you're not, you don't qualify yet.
And
How
so
can you do this
the insurance
financially?
is still covered through TRS
Right.
as well.
We're lucky that because Michael's a teacher and retiring, that system, it's a different system, a mathematical equation, so that you can retire at a certain age, or earlier than 65. And
Right.
still
It's your years of age plus the amount
Years
of service.
service or
And
work,
basically, when I went in way back in the early 90s, I had to equal out to 80. And I already did that, so that's good. And we're still able to cover the kids on our insurance through the retirement system, so all that takes care of that. Plus, it'll probably going to cover the monthly expenses that we'll have when we're there in Orlando,
Right.
which is not much different than what we're living here. The only difference is we're going to go from a house to renting, or like we talked about earlier in a video, we're going to Airbnb it for at least 3 months.
Right. And so if you're thinking about planning doing something like this, I think the best gift you can give yourself is taking the burden of debt off of you. And so luckily we had already paid off our cars, and we didn't say, okay, let's jump in and get new cars or anything like that. That's not something that really interests us. So we're lucky that we don't owe on cars. Those are paid off, and then our credit card debt is also taken care
Very
of.
little,
Yeah. And so, I mean, we are still paying for our children's college and things like that. So we had to think about budgeting for those kinds of things. And but it's just really a matter of what's important to you and where you decide to spend your money. But really, once we set the goal of we want to move to Orlando, and then we figure out and the type of lifestyle and space that we'll be comfortable with, right?
Absolutely.
And I do want to work.
Oh, and so to be able to do the Airbnb, you have to pay up front at least 1 month worth, and so the estate sale money also covered that as well already, that first month. So we're already good to go, and that's really cool too. So So that's how we're able to
I have a
make this
question.
move. Yes.
Would you want to do an estate sale again if we had to, for whatever reason?
Want
To do it again?
It's definitely, it'd be easier the second time around, hopefully, if we were to ever do it, because this first time she had to do the majority of the bulk of the work because I fell and hurt myself, right? And so I wasn't really able to do much.
Well, I mean, that's part of it, but also because I'm already retired, I was home and I had that extra time.
Right.
But if we were trying to get this done after we got out of work and both of us are trying to work on getting everything prepared, I think it would have taken longer and it would have been a lot more exhausting.
Right, yeah, and so, but if we were both retired in the future and doing it would be easier, because I'd structure it slightly differently, but it's, yeah.
It's a big undertaking.
Was it easy? No. Was it worth it? Definitely.
Yeah, we did make doing it ourselves. We made that extra money,
Yeah.
and so that's I mean, if it's not in your interest to go to have that headache, because it is a headache, it's a lot of work. And let me tell you, as soon as we started doing this, I called my friend who does this as a side business, and I was like, friend, this is a big job. This is really tough. And like Michael said, we did have friends that came in, and my mom and a couple of extra friends that did help us that first weekend, and especially that first day, because that's when everybody shows up and gets excited and wants to do. And so it does help to have extra hands on deck.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
but we had fun. We met some people and all that kind of stuff. But and
Yeah,
got
we
to
had
talk.
almost, well, both weekends for sure, but almost each day there was almost the same. People would come by at different times. Are things on sale, or
Yeah,
you
people
know,
would come back.
is anything discounted? And they would come back. So it was the same people coming by,
That's
which
fine.
was really cool.
I think that if you've never been to, I know we've had a couple people who came by and said, well, we've never been to an estate sale, but we saw the signs in the neighborhood, or we saw your stuff on social media. Like, how does it work?
Right.
And so if you want to host an estate sale, I would say go and attend an estate sale. Like, they're usually every weekend, so you'll find one somewhere, and you'll see how they're run. And you have to, but you really have to allow pretty much access to your. It's really up to you whether you're just. If it's something in the case that maybe the people who are living in the home are already moved out, then they have access to the entire run of the house. We sectioned off part of the house and said nobody's going on this side, but on this side, yes. So there was that. It worked for us. So we did. We were able to do that. So would we willingly and excitedly want to do it again? Probably not. Not excited about it, but is it worth it financially? It is. It is. You do. But you do have to promote it.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
And well, especially with the amount of stuff that we had, from artwork to some of the bakery stuff to, The other thing is there's two other ways that we were able to get things either picked up or sold. One of the ways was through Facebook Marketplace. So what do you think about Facebook Marketplace?
Boo.
Okay, why?
Well, I'm not saying you can't sell stuff there. You can
Definitely.
possibly sell things on Facebook Marketplace. But the good thing about an estate sale is that you're telling people this is the date and this is the time. And don't overextend yourself because it is very exhausting. So I think we did it like 10 in the morning to like 5 in the 10 to 5 or 10 to 4? 10 to 4. Because people don't leave at 4 when you say 4 is over. Some people are getting there right before 4 o'clock. And so 10 to 4 was good, that what we did on a Saturday. But with Facebook Marketplace, people are like, oh, can I come by after work on Wednesday? And, and then they might want to buy that, or they might not, or they might want to say, oh, then they want to ask for a discount or whatever it is. But then you really have to schedule your time differently.
Yeah.
But if you say we're having an estate sale these days, and from this block of time to this block of time, then it's much easier.
Right. Well, I think the biggest challenge with Facebook Marketplace is you're just going to get messages at all hours of the day
Or
and night.
People shop at 2 in the morning, and they
So
wanted to ask me if.
if you have a set of 5 things and they're going to ask, can I just? Get
Oh
one?
my
You know, kind of
gosh!
thing. Or how much just for the Joe? How much for the blue one?
We
kind of
had.
thing. And
So we had, like, our son had a bunch of Nerf toys, and I said, okay, we're just gonna put them all together, put them on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm like, $25 for these 9 Nerf items. And then, like, 2 in the morning, someone's like, how much for the blue one? I'm like, $25, dude.
yeah.
And guess what? You get the other ones for free. It comes with the blue. It was. So people,
So that's the biggest challenge.
it's fair,
really,
but
really.
it's a little different. I think Facebook Marketplace is good if you want to buy stuff, but if you're on the selling side.
And so another way that I came home from work one day, and I thought this was very clever that we still had the ovens. It was 2 commercial ovens that we needed to sell, and they're heavy. And I'm like, we don't have anywhere to put these. I don't know what to do. When I came home one day, Corie said, I found a way to get them sold.
Yeah, I
Tell
was
us about
able to
that.
sell the ovens. So we had our commercial bakery, and so we had some stuff in storage that was in perfect, good working condition, working order, everything. We just didn't need it anymore. And it was relatively new.
Yeah.
So what I did was I just took pictures, but I was very specific about saying these ovens don't require, they, gave the specs. It's an electric, it needs this, it needs that, and it's like very, very specific.
It didn't need a hood.
It didn't need a hood, it didn't like whatever. And then actually I went back to the company where we bought it and got all the specs and took picture, like we were able to get screenshots of that, really good pictures of the items. And then I just made, I don't know, I'm laughing because, so I sent that like package of information to as many bakeries as I could find in our area. Because if you put it out even on Facebook Marketplace, like, there, which I did try, there are people who are like, oh, I'd love to, I'm interested, but I'm like, 600 miles away or something like that. And
Can you deliver?
Yeah. No. These are ovens were over 1,000 pounds, so no, it's not going to happen. But anyhow, so I just messaged all of the local bakeries. Now, unfortunately, I did this on my personal page, and I started to send a lot, and then Facebook went and blocked me for a little bit, for like an hour or two, because they thought I'm spamming people or whatnot, and that's when people started responding, and I was like, ah! But I was able to calmly, they gave it a minute, and so I probably would go through their business page. But I did just reach out to all the local bakeries and just said, hey, we have these items for sale, because they're very specific to that industry. So we did have a couple of bakeries that contacted, and one right away that said, oh my gosh, this is great, we really need these. And so we were lucky that we were able to find another married couple that has opened a bakery here locally, and really
that
nice
happened
people.
Within 2 days.
Yeah, it happened really quick. We're really excited. They came and checked them out. Of course, we let them come in and check. I mean, this is a big item, and so they came, checked it out, did
And
all
they had their
that
people
stuff.
come over the next day, pick them up, drag, pull them out and take them. So it was awesome. Great idea.
was
I mean,
really-
that was really clever, I thought.
So yeah, it takes a little time. You have to be proactive. This is definitely a lot more than just putting up a sign that says garage sale, kind of thing.
Right.
But
And you are welcoming into your home if you're doing this yourself. If you're doing it for somebody else, where you're having it, doing an estate sale to see what you can help defer costs for a house or something like that for whatever reason, it's still it's a heavy load. It really is a lot of work. So having more than one or two people is really, really helpful, I thought.
Yeah.
And so that's our update on our. We hadn't really done the whole tie-in on what we did and how we did it and how it came out. So just wanted to touch base with everybody on that.
Right.
We'll talk more about the next step, which is getting our house painted and the contractor in here and doing things and getting the house on the market. And we'll talk about how we're going to market the house. Even though we will have a real estate agent, we're also going to do our part and do videos and market that and show people so we can get the house sold. Because at the end of the day, it's for us, benefit us, so we want to get to Orlando.
Yeah, we're excited about that.
Yes, we are.
A little exhausting, but totally worth it.
Definitely.
For us. So yeah. So if you don't have the extra time and you're in a hurry, I would definitely go with a professional person that does that, the estate sale things.
And if you have any questions, don't hesitate. You can put some questions there or in the comments.
Yeah.
And don't forget to subscribe. Too.
If you do have the time and energy and the patience and the and you're okay with being there and dealing with people coming through your house and asking you if this vase that you paid $80, if they'll take $5 for it, that's part of the game too. So you just gotta kind of be able to say yes or no without being offended and whatnot. And so, I don't want to have to do it again, but we have a little more knowledge under our belt, and we could do it again.
Definitely. And so we'll also talk about the second round of purging some of our things because the stuff that hasn't sold, then what we're going to do with that, because we still have plenty.
Donate, donate,
Yes,
donate. Get it out, get it out, get it out.
Yes. And so that's what we'll be doing next. We'll talk about how we did that and who we had bring it come.
But we know for sure we are not going to be collecting a bunch of stuff again.
Oh no, no.
We're not going to go through this again. We
And
wouldn't
to
put
the
our
kids, if y'all
we
are
wouldn't put
watching
our
this
kids
later,
through this again.
to the kids, you're welcome. We just saved them
I
a
know.
lot of stuff having to do this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. We're not.
When it's our time to go.
Bury us with it or
it'll
sell
be-
it all.
It'll be easier for them.
There'll be a lot less stuff, but anyway.
Yeah. Our footprint's going to be a lot smaller.
That's what we hope.
Mhm.
Anyway. But that's what's important to us.
That's right.
The experience and having fun. But
Yes.
anyway.
All
So
right.
that's, if you have any questions or comments, like Michael said, just put it in there and let us know what you think, or we can answer questions for you, then we shall.
Yes.
And until next time, followers,
Have a
magical week. Bye.
bye.